And we begin with the breaking developments in the search for Nancy Guthrie. A critical deadline reached just moments ago from an alleged ransom note sent by Guthrie's alleged abductors. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Michael Brownlee. That deadline was set for 4 p.m. our time. And just a few hours ago, Savannah Guthrie posted another plea to the public.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help.
The FBI says it has agents and staff working around the clock in the search for Nancy Guthrie.
NBC4's Robert Kovacik is live near Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood in Tucson, where that search continues tonight. Robert?
Colleen and Michael, and we learned just moments ago the FBI is now directly responsible for these possible ransom notes. Yes, you are right. It is 5 o'clock here. We're an hour ahead. That is what one of the ransom notes called, and I'm quoting here, the final deadline. It was at 1:30 this afternoon that Savannah Guthrie returned to Instagram, but different than the post what she had on Saturday, speaking to a possible abductor and saying, quoting here, "We will pay you." This time, a plea directly to the public.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Now, you heard Savannah there mentioning that law enforcement is working around the clock. Before she took to Instagram this afternoon, the FBI telling NBC News, let's show you the statement. For more than a week, FBI agents, analysts, and professional staff have worked around the clock. Additional personnel from the FBI agency, and it goes on to say there that they have been now set up for a 24/7 operation. We have watched throughout this weekend as this investigation continues. It is a multi-pronged investigation. We have watched investigators return back to the home of Nancy Guthrie, yesterday going so far as to search a septic tank. On Saturday night, NBC4 News was there when investigators returned to the home nearby of where Nancy Guthrie lives, the home of her daughter Annie Guthrie, where she lives with her husband. And there they searched again that Saturday evening. Want to point out that according to authorities, these searches have been done with consent. The houses were empty at the time. And on Friday night, live on NBC4 News, we watched as a car was towed from Nancy Guthrie's home. That car, we later found out, NBC4 confirming that Subaru that was parked in the garage does in fact belong to Nancy Guthrie. So Michael and Colleen, where does all of this lead? Well, to be honest, we are in a media blackout. The Sheriff's Department telling us that they will have no further information for anyone, will not make any public comment about the stuff that they are analyzing, where they're canvassing, and any evidence unless there is, and I'm quoting here, a significant development. So as this 5 o'clock hour passes, we wait to learn more. And we do want to point out, if you also heard Savannah saying, even if you are outside of the Tucson area, when we see you tonight at 6 o'clock, we will show you the FBI billboards that are now being posted in the southern portion of the United States outside of Tucson. But for now, that's where we're live. I'm Robert Kovacik. If anything develops, we'll keep you posted.
All right, Robert, thank you. And of course, we'll see you at 5. Our investigative reporter, Eric Leonard, covers crimes in courts for us. He's been reporting on Nancy Guthrie's disappearance since the beginning. That phrase, hour of desperation here. The latest video that we just saw from Savannah, the third one, I believe. What does that tell you about the investigation?
I think it's the fourth video. We had one over the weekend, 2 last week, distinctly different. Everybody we've talked to in law enforcement that is reflecting on this, not people involved in the cases, but people here in Southern California who we know have handled kidnap for ransom cases in the past, really struck by the change and the shift in tone. Today's message was mostly emotion, mostly directed at the general public. The last 3 messages have been, at least by our ability to review them, carefully crafted. I want to say scripted, but words chosen extremely carefully and clearly directed at somebody who they believed, when those messages were recorded, had an involvement in the disappearance of her mother. This shifts the scenario in many people's minds in law enforcement that for whatever reason, there was a critical need to speak directly to the person they believed had written those notes. Today, there's not. What happened? It's difficult for us to know. As you heard Robert just talking about, the authorities have been releasing less and less information publicly each day. We have to assume there's an enormous amount of work that's going on that we're not privy to, but clearly something changed.
Are you surprised at all by the media blackout?
I don't know if I would call it a blackout. They're saying that they're just not going to be there to answer our questions unless something really significant develops. I get the sense that they've told us everything that's appropriate to share publicly at this point. I was surprised last week at the detail the FBI got into, not only confirming that they'd received these notes that they believed could be ransom notes, absent any real proof, but that there were specifics in there about dollar amounts and deadlines for payments, and even going so far as to reflect on the items that they said were mentioned in the notes as some sort of leverage that the notes were legitimate. You remember a broken floodlight and the camera and the positioning of the Apple Watch. I thought those would be holdback kinds of things. I was surprised that they were as forthcoming as they were. Now it clearly has shifted into a different phase of the case.
All right, Eric, once again, we have a team of reporters covering this, and we'll get back to you later in the afternoon.
You got it.
We also will continue to follow this story and bring you every update on the search for Nancy Guthrie. We have the latest details posted on NBCLA.com.